far as time the jury deliberates and the outcome?
So the conventional wisdom, for those of us who sit around and ponder such things, we believe it's just a matter of the detail of the accounts and of the jury instructions. And now it's matching them. It's like one of those things where you have a list on one side and a list on the other side, and you've got to put the strings together to match them all up. And that takes time. Plus, you've got two people, and the jury. I'm sure there's at least one or two people on that jury that doesn't want to, darken one horse because of the other. And so they're going to be very careful that they don't just let one verdict overlap onto the other. Whether it's guilty or not guilty, they want to make sure that they consider them separately.
So the length of time we've seen is about what to be expected, given what you said.
I thought they might come back with a relatively quick verdict, meaning 3 or 4 days, until they ask for the whole transcript. And once they ask for the whole transcript, that signifies either they are being very, very detail-oriented, or there's some major debates going on, and each side needs fodder for their debate.
So now, what is your estimate?
Well, I understand that they've asked for a half day off, and so to me that signifies that they'll definitely be back on Monday. And if they're going to be back on Monday, rather than saying let's just get this over with, I would expect that we have another few days of sitting around wondering and guessing what's going on behind closed doors.
When you have an indictment and jury instructions and the jury form that are this complicated, how do you think they're breaking it down? Do you think they're breaking it down incident by incident or count by count? What's usually done?
Here's the problem, and this is the one, well, maybe one of many, but it is a weakness in the jury system, and that is the jury gets the rules of the game after the game is played. It's like playing a basketball game and then figuring out after the game is over who won or lost when you find out the rules. And so most likely what they are doing is they're going, the verdict form comes in pages, and they'll just take the first question, and then they'll try to match that up against the evidence. They'll talk about what everybody heard and what everybody saw, because it'll be different. It's like when we each, I didn't go, that wasn't the vacation I was on, when I went on the same vacation, or we didn't see the same movie, or we didn't eat at the same restaurant, when in fact we did. Everybody has their own perspective. So now they're trying to match up what they heard, the evidence, and now what that question is. And they aren't programmed to listen according to that question. They just listen, like people listen to the facts and the evidence, and now it has to have meaning to it. And some of the counts are complicated, not only in the fact that there are seven counts, but it's an and or an or, and there are different elements, and so you have to match up more than just the evidence to the question. Now you have to match up the evidence to the question to the legal elements that go with it.
So this could take a while.
It could take a while, especially if there's a debate going on, because while they're debating, they could be using the instructions, which we find much more, we find that happening more ever since the OJ trial and the jurors came out, the McDonald's trial, the jurors came out, they were interviewed, and they were, for all practical purposes, they were booed across the country, both of those verdicts. Jurors came out and they know they're going to have to justify their verdict, not necessarily to the press, but just to their neighbors and to their spouses and their families and people around them, and they need to have a solid reason as to why they raised their hand at a certain time. Right? Okay? Okay. Yeah, it's my pleasure. Good luck.